So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and I hope that this information is helpful, and I hope that it kind of makes you think about the actual process of you going through prepping. Now, grab your coffee, and if you wanted to grab a coffee with me, you can do that in the link down below. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And if you wanted to help me out, you can also send an Amazon gift card so that I can buy several things that I cannot access here in my country. And I also have a PayPal account, which is also down below. So anyway, back to the point. I'm not very popular between the prepping channel because my channel isn't necessarily about prepping per se. It is also not necessarily about survivalism or you buying things or stuff like that, because quite frankly, buying things is something that is kind of like, I'm sick and I'm going to go to the doctor and I'm going to be fine because I can pay for going to the doctor. And if somebody else didn't pay or didn't have the money, they will have to stay in line, and then they will have to have the doctor picked by somebody else for them. But if you have the chance to have the money, then you probably pick the doctor, and you can pick and you can have a little bit of more choices and you can have a little bit of more freedom. However, you buying things is equivalent of you saying that that because you can go to a doctor, you will get health, or you will totally be okay. That is not necessarily like that, because if there is a thing that is affecting everybody, like I said, you having the money or you having the ability to have certain preps or other things, it will give you more choices and it will give you a little bit of more sense of control, but it will not get rid of the main problem, which is that you are sick, or that everybody else is sick, and then there is a situation that I have said in most of my videos, that money is not meant to buy your way out of problems, because problems by definition cannot be solved by money. Money by definition will solve problems related with expenses, like you buying more food or you going to the supermarket and getting whatever you want and stuff like that. However, like I said, the thing about prepping is everything about you going with the tool that you have, which is money, and then you go and buy things. And that's not bad. That is just like, rookie prepping 101 kind of thing, It's just very basic prepping. However, real prepping, like rookie, hardcore kind of prepping, I will say, like, if this was a video game, let's say that you're going from level 1 to level 2 to level 10, and this is a video game that you can spend 10 hours, and each hour you will go, through an entire level, and then you are done. That's it, you're done. At this point, if you're done, you're moving to another game. And by moving to another game, I mean that you are very likely going to either leave the country, or you're going to find some sort of other way of life that it will be an entirely new thing, and it's not going to be like that, like the one that you just experienced. So if this was a video game and there are 10 levels, and each level is everybody is doing the same thing, everybody is buying things like food, everybody is buying certain things like tool or gardening or stuff like that, or everybody is level 2 will be kind of like, okay, everybody is kind of training in guns and other stuff like that, and then level 3 will be kind of like you going and going at first aid kit things and first aid, training and stuff like that, each level will be kind of like the same. So yeah, I'm not going to talk to you about those things. If you're expecting my channel to be like all the other channels in that aspect, then I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not going to go through that with you. The reason for that is because when you are prepping, you are thinking that the video game is going to have 10 levels, 1 hour each level, and that's it. And then, you will find something else or whatever. But reality is going to be like this. Level 1 has 25 sub levels, kind of like a mini bonus kind of game, and all of them will be different depending upon where you are, and that's why I have a reproduction list or a series list called hard places, different places and stuff like that. And then each sub game or sub level will entirely depend upon other players that come into contact with you. And other sub levels, you will actually have them because players that are with you will leave you alone, and then you are facing monsters by yourself because your entire team was wiped out. Wipe out as in they are nowhere to be found because they are doing other stuff, or they are not there, or they moved, or they are sick, or they are unable to help you, or they just don't have the abilities that you have or whatever, but you are on your own. So in this game, these sub-level games, you enter a dungeon, you have 20 players, and all of them are your friends or family, whatever. And then 10 seconds later, you only have 10, and then 20 seconds later, you only have one person in the entire room, and it's probably going to be you, and you alone. And at that time, I can tell you right now that you are going to very likely going to be kind of mad and pissed at the fact that your entire team or everyone around you don't have the abilities that you have, which is, again, insane, because you can't ask other people to be exactly like you. Because if you wanted everyone to be like you, then why don't you just clone yourself and go and buy a planet and move there, and then, have a party all by yourself? Because, there are people that can actually do that because they probably have the money to do it. But that's not what people do, You do have other team members, as in families. You do have other responsibilities, meaning, your job and other things that you're supposed to be doing. And, the more stuff that you have, the more things that you're probably very likely going to have to take care of, and you probably also have to organize, and you have to clean, and then you will have to protect them. And the more you take, the less you have. That is one thing that I ask people to always write it down. The more you take, the less you have. And that is because the more stuff that you have, the less time that you're going to have to do other stuff, because you're probably going to have to be cleaning, organizing, and, like I said, other stuff related to these items that you have in comparison to your own life. And at this point, what I want to tell you is that my channel covers those sub-levels. My channel is not going to tell you, hey, go and buy food, because that is kind of obvious. I mean, if you're preparing for an emergency, you better have, water and food and certain things like batteries and essentials. That's just like you entering the video game. If you are going to play the video game, you already know that the first level is going to be kind of like, okay, people are going to panic because there is no food and there is no water and there is no power, so let's go and make a whole new level of this thing, and then you kind of know what to expect. However, if you are dropped into one of these sub-levels at level 1, yeah, like I said, these are things that are totally not going to be in your plan, and they are probably going to make you broke, like financially broke. They are also probably going to break your head, like literally break your mind, your head, and everything that you go forward to try to look forward, because you're thinking that your teammates are all in the same, and they are not, and stuff like that. So, having said that, then how do you deal with sub levels and sub things in this game that you don't know what to expect, and you don't know anything? So here's the deal. 2 approaches. You can do your own approach, meaning, okay, I'm thinking that if I was hungry, I would probably go and fight everybody else. So I'm thinking that everybody is going to break into houses and stuff to steal food and all of those things. Yeah, like I said in a lot of my videos, that is your approach. That is not the approach that most people will take, because your logic, by definition, started by being a prepper, meaning you are thinking like a prepper. You are not thinking like the regular street people. And the regular street people are not going to go into a house to try to get shot. Most people are just going to go into cars, or into, taking people's wallet and taking people's purses and stealing things that are easy to take. Easy, like, things that are in your backyard. Because, they don't have to go into your house to steal things from you. They can just go into the front yard or the backyard, take anything, jump, and then that's it, And then they took stuff from you, including things that are in the garden. So, you're thinking, okay, I'm thinking that if I'm going to do trading, there will be, this, and that. Yeah, like I said, you're thinking like a prepper, because you probably are. And you have to understand that that doesn't happen. So here is what is actually going to happen, in terms of trading, which is one of the things that, most people will ask or say or do or whatever. People will knock into your front door and ask for jobs or for things or for whatever, because, let's say that I'm not a prepper and I am a mother and I need to get a job because, I need food for my kids. So I go and I take my kids because I don't have any nanny and I don't have money to pay for a nanny or anything like that. And so I will walk with my kids begging for food and stuff like that. So I will knock on people's houses. And then, some people will help me, other people won't. And the same thing will happen with trading. There will be people that will be kind of like, okay, I'm not going to beg because, I have my dignity, so I'm just going to trade. So I'm going to go into houses and then I'm going to tell them, hey, I have this clothing or these tools or these items that I have in my house that I don't use. So I'm just going to knock on the door and say, hey, how about if I trade this with you? I have a radio that I don't use, or I have this, or I have that. Yeah. And again, these are people that are not preppers, and then you are a prepper. And if you're a prepper, you're also very concerned about people knocking into your door, because these people might come back to steal from you later on. So question, if these people are people that you do not trust and you do not know who they are or what they want, or if they have a group, or if they are just taking a peek at your house and stuff like that, will you trade with them? Will you trade with these people? I mean, the most that you probably are going to do is just give them something so that they are on their way. But will you establish a relationship with people that you do not know? If you're a prepper, very likely you are not, unless they are preppers. And here's the deal, if they are preppers, they already have the things that you have. So it's kind of like, I have tuna, I also have tuna. I have this, I also have this. I have that, yeah, I also cover that one, you know. So trading within preppers versus preppers is going to be harder because most preppers already have everything that you are considering. So if you're going to trade with people that are not preppers, then you gotta establish some sort of rules and some sort of backgrounds on how to do it. And so this is what I'm telling you, that are sub-level things. Some people are very good at opening up with others and not and trusting other people, and are very like pacifiers kind of people. There are people that don't meddle with other people, but there are people that are not like that. There are people that are like paranoid, and they go like, oh no, if you open the door, that person is probably have a gun and they're going to kill us all, so you're not opening the door and stuff like that, you know? So my point is that my channel will cover a lot of these topics because you are looking at things from a perspective that goes from a prepper point of view, because you are into prepping. You are not into not prepping, and you are also not into the sub-levels that you are going to experience. So no matter how hard you train, if you go through level 1, there is a chance that you will go to level 2, no problem. But there are over 100 chances. Let's say that there are 1,000 ways in which you can go from level 1 to level 2. I can tell you right now that there are over 100 chances, that means more than 10%, that you will go into a detour. You are going to go into a detour. You can't just go to your house and, eat and have the electricity, have the propane and everything else working and everything else perfectly, because, it's just not like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, the only thing that you may want to look at, because that one is universal. I don't care how much money you have or how much, if you are a prepper, if you are not a non-prepper or whatever, I don't care if you're a survivalist. I don't care if you're a doctor. If you live in a building, and this is hard times, I'm telling you, there are a lot of things that happens in buildings that are called universal experiences. And within those things, it will be the fact that there are people that will very likely commit suicide. And when you're dealing with that, no amount of food that you have is going to help you. Because there are things that are, like I told you, you can't buy your way out of problems. You can try. And like I said, money is a tool. It will help you navigate your disease. You might be able to pick your own doctor. You might be able to buy better medicine. You might be able to skip line. You might be able to do a lot of things with money. But you won't be able to get out of the disease. You won't be able to solve the problem per se. So, if you keep looking at things from the prepper's perspective, you are going to be into a problem. Because not everybody is a prepper, and you can't assume that you know how the non-preppers will react because you are not into that area. You are assuming everything from the prepper's point of view, which is not. It's kind of like you. Okay, let's say that you walk into a city, and you are not a criminal, and somebody is planning on committing a crime. Now, who do you call if somebody is going to commit a crime? A criminal or somebody that has no idea of anything? See what I mean? My point is that you can't think like a criminal because you are not one. And you can't think like a non-prepper because you are a prepper. And then this is where, you having somebody who is, specialize in being themselves, that is what you're looking for. Meaning, if somebody is a doctor, it doesn't matter if that doctor is a prepper or is not a prepper. Before anything, he is a doctor. See, his oath is to heal people and to protect people, and that one goes beyond him being a prepper or a non-prepper, because that's kind of like what defines him. That guy is a doctor. Now, there are several things that you might want to consider about who you are and what you're going to go through that unites you with everybody else. So, what does that mean? It means that if you want to start prepping, you can look into other channels for how to deal with level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then when you're number 10, I swear, if you're in number 10, you either have already achieved the creation of a new entire community, or you are a gang that has taken over a community, or you are leaving the country. Very likely. One of those three things by the time you graduate this hard time thing. But if you're going to fall into the subcategories, you're probably not getting out of those subcategories. Because if you are dealing with people committing suicide, and that people happens to be within your family or within your friends or something like that, you are not moving from level 1. You're not moving from level 1. Because your emotion, your logic, your sense, everything will be stuck in time in there until you figure out how to move forward. And you moving forward from an experience that is that traumatic is not happening. And most people, what I am doing, I'm creating a series called Sarah. Right now it's called Just Human, Just Sarah. And I started it as a pilot. And the idea was to, have this woman who has a lot of issues. And then I am explaining, a lot into the story, the behind scene things, because most people think, okay, I am going to grab this and then I'm going to move forward. Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you look at that story that is an entirely reproduction list or a series or a playlist that is in this channel, you will see that it's not like that. You can have all the food that you have in your apartment, and there can be chaos outside, whatever. And here's the deal: if your best friend committed suicide, and your best friend happened to live in your building, and you saw your best friend, jumping out of an 8th floor or something like that, and you couldn't do anything, do you think that you're going to eat? Do you, honest to God, believe that you are going to be able to eat at all? So it's not about your resources. It's about you handling your emotions and handling your mind. So where do you want to start rookie preppers? But I'm going to be hardcore on this one, as in, you go into level 1 and the level 1 is not easy, it's not normal, it's going extra hard. Then I suggest that you start the reproduction list that I have that is called the top 10 experiences that you are likely, and I do mean very likely, like I said, I don't care if you have money, if you're a girl, if you're a boy, if you're whatever age, whatever, you're very likely going to go to those 10 experiences. And then at that point, okay, if you're going to go through somebody, committing suicide, whether it is a friend, a neighbor, a family member, for all I know, you may have, suicidal thoughts. So how do you deal with that? You certainly cannot buy your way out of that one. Oh, but here's the deal. In a way, you can cheat. And then you're like, what do you mean you can cheat? Well, this is a game, right? And in a way, you can cheat. How do you cheat? Well, the first thing is, like I told you, go and take a look at that reproduction list on the top 10 experiences and write them down and say, how will you react? Now, what do you think is going to be your reaction is not going to be your actual reaction. Because your body will react faster than you. You see, I had a plan as in how I was going to react when if I was ever into a riot and then they were handling tear gas and everything like that. And my plan went to, it went directly towards it's like me flushing into a toilet. Yeah, it's never coming back. My plans went to flushing the toilet. That's it, I'm done. I did everything, the complete opposite. Because your body will react differently. Because you don't know your own emotions. Nobody knows their own emotions. Nobody knows until they happen. So you can write down what you are expecting, and then you can keep that diary, and if something like that actually happens, then you can compare, and then you say, oh yeah, I said I was going to paint to paint this in pink, but it turns out that it's a very bright green color. What? But it was supposed to be pink. I painted it. I accidentally painted it in green. Very bright green instead of a very soft pink. Yeah, kind of like that. So, how do you cheat? So, like I said, first you find out what you're going to experience. So that way, if you're going to experience something, it's kind of like you go into a horror movie, and it's a horror movie, so you know that you're going to be scared. However, if this was a realistic kind of movie, it will also have comedy in it. So sometimes you will be laughing, sometimes you will be crying, and most of the time you will be freaking out because it's a horror thing. But you first know. Take notes about the experiences of other people's experiences. They go to war and stuff like that. So now you kind of, okay, if somebody went in my family, my grandfather went to war, and this is, what he told the family. So we can expect this, and this, and this, and this, and that, according to him, because everybody was like that. So you kind of have a reference point. Second, you actually buy and read a book on people that have gone through those experiences. Now, you can buy the audiobook if you do not like reading, or you can, search into the YouTube channel for interviews with these people. But I'm going to tell you right now that, you need to take a look at the perspective of going mad because of this experience, and going ballistic because of this experience, and being calm during this experience, because those are the three things that you're going to probably be. You're going to probably be like neutral, as in, oh yeah, I have somebody that committed suicide in my building, and I know, but it was somebody that I knew, but it wasn't somebody that was that close to me, and it kind of shook me, but I'm okay. Yeah, kind of like that. That kind of is neutral. The other one will be kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, but the one that committed suicide was my best friend. So I am angry, and I am ballistic, and I don't know what to do with that, and I want to make her into a zombie so that she can come back to life, so that I can kind of, beat her myself, and then she can actually, do whatever she wants, because I'm done because, there will be people like that. People that are angry at everything. Especially, I can tell you right now, especially the ones that will have the most frustration and the most, the most helpless. You cannot go any lower in terms of how helpless you can be, rather than a parent that have had gone through that. A kid that, it is your own kid, and that they did that. I can tell you right now that those parents, yeah, they will never ever have a life again. And so, they will be stuck in that level of the game forever. Very likely. Because some things, you experience, but you never move forward from them. Like it's like you being married with somebody, and then that person dying after 40 years of being married with you and stuff like that. It just is. There are things that are too hard, and no amount of money that you have, or no amount of things that you have, or whatever, it will make them go away. So during hard times, the top experiences that you are going to have, you may want to take a look at people that like I told you, that have gone ballistic, because very likely if you're a person that is very justice and is very organized and very pretty much kind of like, okay, we're playing, we're going to do this, and you're very optimistic, you're very likely going to go ballistic. If you are the most optimistic you are, the more ballistic you're probably going to get when somebody just wants to, give up, and then they do it because they don't know better or whatever. So people that have gone through that, there are hundreds of groups that you can join their forums and ask, how are, because maybe you haven't, this is a topic that hasn't hit home yet. You don't know what it is like to have, somebody committing suicide near you. For all I know, you don't even know what that is. And because you don't know, then you being sent all of the suddenly into this sub-level, you have no idea. So it's better to understand that there is a sub-level called suicide. And this sub-level, a lot of people will take it. And so if people around you are about to take it, you are going to be in regret if you don't understand the signs that other people are giving up to you. So take the top 10 experiences, do the research a little bit, maybe take 1 hour a week for each of the experiences. That will be enough, because at least now you are aware. If you are aware, then you will understand that your priority doesn't necessarily comes down to, okay, you going into the supermarket and buying all the food when you have somebody who is a little bit mentally unstable, and then bad things keep happening, and then it hits you, and now you're just like, you don't know what to do, where to move, you don't know what is your next thing. And if you're going to go mad, because a lot of people will go mad, like I said, most people, if they're optimistic and all of that, they will be angry, they will go ballistic on other people and stuff like that, because they won't get it, they will not know, because like I said, things are known for their opposite. If you are very optimistic, you cannot understand why somebody will take the pessimistic approach, and stuff like that, and so you will be mad. And then there is the other one, the one that says, okay, I'm mad, I don't know, I keep crying and I keep feeling regret, and now I'm upset, and now I'm thinking that maybe I should suicide also, stuff like that, because a lot of people will go through that also. Especially, if this happen like with brothers and sisters, because most of the people is like, my little sister or my little brother did that, and then I was the responsible one. I was supposed to protect them and I couldn't, and then it's way worse than the parents, because the parents, they already know that they failed, but you as the kid, then you don't know how you're going to handle that and protect your parents, and also the same. So it's a whole thing, it's a whole mess. people stealing things from you, you don't know how you're going to react. I have a video, or I don't know if I deleted it or not or whatever, but I had a video in which, I always said that if somebody was going to grab my cell phone, I was just going to throw it away so that people will chase the cell phone and leave me alone. But instead, I ended up hitting the guy and punching, pushing the guy, the guy that wanted to take my cell phone, and I almost got myself killed. And the guy, actually almost destroyed my shoulder on the process. And thank God that he could not reach his arm, because otherwise he would have just shot me dead. Because I was pissed at the guy that tried to steal things from me. He tried to steal my cell phone, so my answer was, okay, I'm going to beat him up. I'm a small girl. I can barely, push anything that is too heavy or anything like that, let alone a guy, And it's not like in the movies. I'm a girl. I'm not beating a guy up. And, no. But I thought that I could do it, and then, at the end, the guy still stole my cell phone, and then I got a dislocated shoulder, and then I got my entire family being pissed at me, and my entire family, on my case because I was being stupid. And they were like, yeah, how the hell can you think that you, being a small girl, are going to beat a guy up? How? And so, like I said, soft pink versus very bright green. Yeah, kind of like that. So, yeah, so I'm sorry. So your expectations are one thing, but reality is other. But, like I said, I went mad. I went mad when that guy was going to steal my cell phone. So, you're probably going to be mad, and then you gotta understand that it's okay, as long as you survive, and as long as there is no real like very hard damage or something. There are people that have gone through to people stealing things from them, and then they go through the same process that I did, that they think that they can beat other people up, and they have actually get shot, and some of them have lost limbers, like arms or legs, or they are crippled or anything because of a shot, because they were protecting a freaking cell phone. So my point is that try to understand that prepping isn't necessarily about just thinking that it's going to be an easy game and all you need to do is get the money and buy the things and whatever, because it's not. You also need to prepare your mind, but most of the time you will also need, very likely, to protect your emotions, because if you don't protect your emotions, you're going to be stuck in time. Your heart is going to be pounding physically, but your heart is going to be completely broken. And it is going to scare the hell out of you every single time that you take a breath. Because of regrets and because of all of these things that are happening and you didn't know better. But thank God that there are a lot of people that do know better. They have lost, people to suicide. They have lost people to robberies. And by the way, most robberies, like I said, they don't happen in houses. They happen in cars, and they also happen, near certain places or others. And I have mentioned all of that in my videos. So, rookie prepping. This is a reproduction list. You can start it from the beginning, and the link for the beginning of this reproduction list is also down below. And like I said, I will really, really, really recommend that you get those books that are written by people that have survived committing suicide and everything, and then They will tell you what they went through. They will tell you how not to do things, which is very, very, very important. Because you think, you see, it's not about you knowing how to change a light bulb. It's about you knowing the other 999 ways on how not to change the freaking light bulb. That is more important, because that is 999 versus 1. I don't know about you, but the other 999 is way more, of a bigger number than just 1. If you know how to do something, that's not, that doesn't make you an expert. An expert, it will be you knowing the other 999 ways of how not to do it, meaning how not to screw it up, which is very important. And the only way to do that is by sharing the thing that is universal about us. And I have said it before in my videos, the etymological concept, energy. We are all some form of energy. Then we are moving. That means that we are an emotional thing. We are sentient beings. And then we have logic. And again, logic is another tool, just like money. There are people that have better logic than others. And then we have a body. There are people that have a better body than other people, because the body has also its own intelligence and everything like that. So, logic. Go directly towards the universal source, energy. That means experience. Both of them, have the E as at the beginning of the letter. Energy and experience. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. And remember, fear has 2 meanings. The number one is forget everything and run. Or number 2, face everything and rise. The choice is always yours. And so do your best by preparing properly. That means don't use only your money. Use also your logic and everything that it can help you. Because the most important thing about this game is that you share it. Is that you don't play alone. Because at the end of the day, you playing alone a game is not fun. For all I know, you might not even make it to the end if you are alone. So enjoy and take care of others, because other people may not have any idea, but this channel might be able to help you out. And if you think it helps you out, then share the channel with other people. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.